Here in week 7, we're getting into chapter 13 and looking at the small business, taking a close-up look at how it can be more efficient and how it can be more effective. For the small business, time might be the most precious of all its resources. Other resources can be purchased or acquired. Information can be sought from various sources, but time is most critical in the small business. Maximizing the use of time is critical, and especially in terms of how we look at it from the standpoint of being efficient and effective in providing the products or services. After all, if we're not effective and efficient in the small business, and we're not differentiating ourselves from competition, we will have a great deal of difficulty reaching our break-even point, reaching profitability, and keeping the business up and running in the long term. An effective organization achieves the outcomes it wishes to produce. Efficiency means producing the desired results with the minimum expenditures and resources. So you can think of effectiveness as trying to do the right thing, and think of efficiency as doing things right. Now, those are two very large overarching generalizations, but basically that's what this is all about, and that's what you'll see in chapter 13. Being effective, that is setting goals and then reaching those goals. And when we reach our goals, or when the small business reaches its goals, or when you reach your personal goals, you're being effective. Efficiency means what kinds of resources, time, money, or other energy and other resources do you expend in reaching that goal? And I think you can already see where we're going with this discussion is in that once in the small business we've established goals and objectives, the next step is to find ways to reach those goals and objectives in the most efficient manner. So you'll see in the latter parts of chapter 13, you'll see a lot of discussion of quality, quality of manufactured goods, and you'll see that the authors have identified a lot of the key literature, a lot of the key thought leaders in the area of quality control in both manufacturing and in providing services. So quality for manufactured goods can be broken down into 8 easy to discuss topics, and those are identified and discussed in chapter 13. Services, providing services, either services that accompany a product or service, or accompany a product, or if it's a service, if service is the product, if you want to say it that way, what are the quality dimensions of providing that particular service? Quality is as you can see as the discussion goes in the chapter, and especially with the introduction of and discussing a well-known person in that area, W. Edwards Denning, a gentleman whose name you'll see referred to quite frequently in discussions of quality control and lean thinking and efficiency. His name is synonymous with all of those key topics. Deming sees quality as a continuing cycle of the PDCA cycle that's mentioned in the text: planning, doing, checking, and acting. And so you'll be familiar with you'll get very familiar with W. Edwards Denning by studying chapter 13. If you haven't come across his work before, I think it'll be an interesting and quite interesting discussion that you'll find of the topics that are associated with him and with the leadership that he's provided in that whole quality control movement, doing things more efficient. And his name is so closely associated with that. The lean thinking discussion is something you should take a look at. Lean thinking is a program to eliminate all forms of waste in an organization. And so there are, I think we probably all agree that yes, we should eliminate waste in the organization, but saying that and then having, concrete ways or discrete plans for addressing that issue is quite something else. But you'll be pleased to find that there's some logical steps that can be taken in any manufacturing organization, practically any manufacturing organization, and in practically any service organization, any service provider. And this would also include, make sure we include profit-making organizations and actually improvements in services that we can make in nonprofit organizations. So any organization that is seeking to provide a product or service, that is seeking to provide some benefits to its customers, certainly, or to other stakeholders. Any of those organizations can benefit from the lean thinking and from the quality thinking that is so much discussed in Chapter 13 and summarized very well. And I think if you're in your career, if you will be moving on in your career and having a small business, I think this discussion will be very helpful to you, even if you don't go into small business. If you go into any kind of business or organization of any type, I think you'll find the points and the summary statements and the tables of this information are very helpful to you. As it's a very, very nice compact summary of major points about lean thinking, quality control, quality manufacturing, and quality providing of services. So eliminating waste in manufacturing, eliminating waste in services, those are the main areas where that chapter ends. So again, I always wish you the best in the studies that you undertake, and this week I wish you the best in studying Chapter 13 and learning more about how to be efficient and how to be effective and how organizations need to be efficient and effective. And I also know that coming up this week is Thanksgiving, so I wish all of you a very happy Thanksgiving.